rather introvert woman, despite the fact that I'm here tonight. I am a countryside girl, very much addicted to TV series and chocolate, and a traveler. I'm fighting for the application of a true asylum right in France, against human trafficking, for the freedom of press, and for a better humanitarian system. All of this is me. This defines me. At the time of the European Union and Schengen, nationality is not the first thing that comes to mind when we are wondering who we are. At least to me. Most of the people of our generation believe in the idea of universal citizenship and the abolition of border. I certainly do. However, I learned that people have a different idea of how to define someone, nationality being a big part of it. After my high school diploma, I joined Sciences Po and moved to Paris. Here, I discovered a person I wasn't expecting. The person people will see the first time they will meet me. I still recall the first time I noticed this difference. I just arrived at an international student party and started a conversation with a stranger. After exchanging our name, she asked me where I was coming from, and when I told her France, she asked me a question I never heard before. No, but for real, where are you from? No, but for real. At the time, I didn't think much of it. But the number of times these 4 words, no, but for real, were addressed to me kept increasing. I was even more surprised since I was born in Marseille, in the south of France, and I grew up in a small town near Bordeaux, in the southwest, where my little brother was born. I went to primary, middle, high school there, had friends whose name was Lucie, Alexandre, Julien, true French names. I ate bread at every meal, and I learned English with the same French accent I still have tonight. A true typical French. But even when I was traveling abroad, I was still hearing this question, no but for real, and its variants. In Sierra Leone, the representative of the NGO for which I was working for, without knowing anything else but my name, came directly at me at the airport because he was expecting someone like me. Someone like me. When I was visiting Morocco, after introducing myself as French, people who usually stop look at me very confused, and they will say, no, you come from our place. Our place. In Uganda, where I spent a year, people were not really convinced when I told them I was French. I wasn't looking like the other Europeans. No, I was from Africa, like them. So after 20 years of absolute certainty, the person I thought I was didn't hold true anymore. More than another country, people have a tendency to associate me with another culture, the one from the Arab world. An impression even more confirmed when I would occasionally refuse a glass of alcohol. Oh yeah, it's because you're Muslim, right? After hearing all of these sentences, no but for real, someone like me, coming from our place, doubt starting to settle in me. Have I been ignoring the side of me? All of these words were conveying a picture of me I didn't know and was maybe worth exploring further. Indeed, my dad is from Algeria, but he always had the French nationality. My mom is French. Even my grandparents were French. My dad studied in France, and he did not keep a close connection with the Arab and Muslim culture. So I didn't know where to start. I was feeling completely lost, upset, and confused. What is it to be Arab? I needed to find an answer for myself, so I started to learn Arabic, reading books about my dad's country of origin, and I thought at length of getting the Algerian citizenship. I worked to integrate in myself this other part that the rest of the world told me was my identity. I tried readjusting it, but I was facing with what seemed to be an impossible choice. Renouncing to be French, to be Algerian, or maybe the reverse, or being half French and half Algerian without totally being one of the two. So to the question, where do you come from? I would then try to reach a middle ground and would say, I'm French, but my dad is also from Algeria. I thought taking a step into this direction I had been forced into would be enough to silence this external and now as well internal questioning. Let me tell you, it was a pretty bad decision. Because even more absurd questions follow the no, but for real, where are you from? Now people ask me, oh, so do you want to go back there someday? Go back? How could I go back to a country I never lived in before? How could I go back to a country I never left? Once again, I was forced to make a difficult choice between the person I deeply felt I was and the person people thought they were seeing. By the mere acknowledgement of my father's origin, it was over. I wasn't French anymore. No, I was an Algerian waiting to go back to her country. Here I had never even wondered about my French identity. And all of a sudden, in a few years, people forced me to take into account my Arab origin. And when I finally did and accepted this side of me, people now wanted me to renounce to my French side. This is when I realized it was actually up to me to find out and hold on to the definition of myself, and not accept the outsider perception as the truth. This kind of small sentence, no, but for real, where are you from? Someone like you, going back, creates an invisible pressure that seem trivial indeed, but their repetitive references push to question the deepest root of our identity. It is tempting to think that my story is about racism and discrimination. But this is not quite why I'm here tonight, speaking in front of so many people for the first time in my life. My story is about freedom and empowerment. Instead of desperately trying to label people, Black, African, Hispanic, Arab, minority, let's acknowledge the importance of stereotype on the lives of individuals. And let's stop projecting preconceived ideas based on their looks. This girl you met at school who told you she was Turkish in a perfect German. This black guy you have met at a party last night who told you he's Spanish. This Arab-looking girl you have been listening to tonight telling you she's French. Well, it might make no sense, but let's explore, reject, integrate, accept, and more importantly, introduce ourselves the way we want to. I am 100% French. On top of that, I may have some Arab identity that go beyond this 100%. It is up to me to define and disclose it. What we perceive is only one part of the reality. And what is really at stake is to let people choose how they want to relate to themselves. Let it be in terms of nationality, religious affiliation, or sexual orientation. Let's discover and accept the different layers of everyone's identity. We are going towards a world where looks and origin will not necessarily match nationality, where people will be born in one country, raised in another one, studying yet in another country, and who will probably live in, again, other country during their lives. Life narratives are going to be more and more complicated. So we need to find a way to overcome our biases. So the next time you meet this Asian-looking woman who introduces herself with a strong Scottish accent, I invite you to remember the story I told you tonight. Thank you. Sciences Po.